Okay, so today I'm presenting on my favorite book, The Picture of Dorian Gray, and Aestheticism, and this is actually something that has greatly impacted my life and my whole philosophy of everything that I look at. So, what is aestheticism? It's the biggest word in this presentation. If you ever hear someone say, oh, you're just doing it for aesthetics, it's for appearances, for things like that, the aesthetic movement was a movement in the 1800s. It wasn't a huge thing to really catch on. It was mostly in the educated and the artful. The slogan of aestheticism was art for art's sake. It doesn't mean, it's an emphasis on aesthetics values over social, political symbolisms and meanings. So aestheticism is basically beauty, looking at beauty and having art for the purpose of having something beautiful rather than having something that is a commentary on the politics and some grand, philosophical gesture or anything like that. It was proliferated by Walter Pater, who was one of Oscar Wilde's teachers and mentors that he really looked up to, and Oscar Wilde was then a proliferator of aestheticism after that. And basically, it's just valuing beauty that is around us that we pass up every day. So about the book itself, Picture of Dorian Gray was written by Oscar Wilde in 1890. It was published in Lippincott's Monthly Magazine. Basically, it's about Dorian Gray, who is a beautiful youth. He's 17 or 18 years old, and he realizes that all he has, all anyone really has, is their youth and their beauty. Because eventually your youth and your beauty will fade, and you won't have the vitality to enjoy life. Your life itself will start to fade after a while. And he becomes completely distressed about this, and he makes a wish that a painting that someone paints of him, his portrait, would take on his aging and his sins instead of his own body. And this gets granted. You're never quite sure what power actually grants this. But he realizes that over time, the painting is aging, it's changing with all of his sins, and he's not. When he does realize this, he begins to explore life's indulgences and the beauty around him. So he goes to things like opium dens, and he gambles and things like that, but he also becomes extremely obsessed with all the beautiful things that are around us, with jewels and tapestries and books and beautiful women and music and instruments and knowledge and all of this stuff that is around us. The furniture, every chair we sit in has beauty to it in some fashion. Tapestries, jewels, art, people are all beautiful. And he sees this and becomes obsessed with thing after thing after thing. And he loves to explore this. So some quotes that are some of my favorites from the book that really speak about the book. The first, it is only shallow people who do not judge by appearances. The true mystery of the world is the visible, not the invisible. So we always say you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, that people are more than how they appear, which is good, it's great, we are more than our faces, but you can't deny that beauty is still beauty, and it's incredible that there is beauty in people, in nature, that it is around us. We spend so much time trying to discount it, trying to find a further meaning to it, but the fact that it is there is incredible. And my second favorite quote, or my favorite quote actually, I never approve or disapprove of anything now. It is an absurd attitude to take towards life. We are not sent into the world to air our moral prejudices. And this is something that when I read it and you read something like that in the book, it's just like, yes, that really resonated with me, because it's basically saying that we're here for our lives, to live life. We're not here to tell other people what they should do, what they shouldn't do, how they should behave towards us, how we should behave towards them. We're not here to judge each other's lives, to control each other's lives. We're here for life itself. So public reaction to the book, because Dorian Gray was obsessed with all these different aesthetic things with beauty is really a primal thing because it's there right in front of us. It doesn't really require more thought, you know it's there. So it was very prideful and simply self-indulgent. It was considered by a lot of people because it wasn't spent in time of knowledge or giving back to the community or science or politics or anything like that. Some people, the aesthetes, the other aesthetic people in the movement did appreciate it, but it was an outrage to most other contemporary writers and even just readers. So someone actually wrote into Lippincott's Monthly Magazine as a letter to the editor, and Oscar Wilde wrote back, and the person said, oh, this is a horrible book, it's sinful, it should be published, it should be banned, and all this other stuff. And Oscar Wilde wrote back and said, it is poisonous if you like, but you cannot deny it is also utterly perfect. You can't deny that it is a great work of art, that it has something to say. And even if you don't agree with it, it's still perfect. So if you read this book, and I suggest you do, because it's an amazing book, what you get out of the book is what you let yourself get out of the book. It's all in your approach to reading it. You have to be willing to listen. It doesn't mean you have to be willing to be converted by it, to agree with it, but you just have to be willing to listen to it, and then you can get a lot out of it. A friend of mine read the book. She absolutely loved the book, disagreed with everything in it, with everything Oscar Wilde said. but she still loved the book. You can still get something out of it and not agree with everything he says. Because some of the things that Oscar Wilde and Dorian Gray say in the book, you're just like, wow, who would ever think that? But you can still be impacted by it. And depending on your approach, how open you're to it, it can change your life, like it did for me. So how did it change my life? Basically, if you know me well enough, you can see some of these things reflected, I hope. Now, after reading it and having silent parts of me, I guess, exposed out in the open by this book, I have an acknowledgement, appreciation for the beauty in our surroundings. So everything around us, nature, furniture, people, the air, the sky, everything, books, movies, music, especially music, it's all beautiful. And we pass up these things every day. We don't indulge ourselves in them because indulgence is supposed to be, sinful or whatever, but it's around us and we should acknowledge it because it is there. I now believe that life is a thing worth going after, and this is actually a really hard goal. Life is what we're put here for, I believe. I don't think we were made here, we were put here to make a better planet. I don't know what, if anything, put us here, but life is the reason why we're here, to enjoy life, to see the beauty in life itself and in the world. And I also believe, as some of you have heard me say, that everyone is entitled to be exactly who they are. We are not here to judge each other, to tell each other what to do, how they should live their life, what things should mean to them. Everyone is meant to be who they are, live their life, because life is what we're here for. It's what we're meant for. Thank you.